I am very honored to introduce our guest speaker, Nicole Small. Nicole is the first president of the Lyda Hill Foundation, which is dedicated to funding game-changing advances in nature and science research. Nicole is a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania with an MBA from the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern. She's worked at McKinsey, Goldman Sachs, and a number of technology and venture capital firms. She's a member of the Dallas Assembly, YPO, International Women's Forum, and the Dallas Committee on Foreign Relations. She's also serves on the boards of the Hockaday School, Communities Foundation of Texas, and the Belo Corporation. Walt Disney is quoted on the Lyda Hill Foundation website. He said, "It's kind of fun to do the impossible." And I think Nicole must feel the same way. Before joining the foundation, Nicole served as CEO of the Perot Museum of Nature and Science for 12 years. During those years, she directed all aspects of day-to-day operations. She orchestrated the 2006 merger of the Dallas Museum of Natural History with the Science Place and the Dallas Children's Museum. She managed a $185 million fundraising campaign, which provided for the site acquisition, exhibition planning and design, construction of the new building, education programs and endowment, directed the construction of the stunning sixth-floor, 180,000 square foot Perot Museum in Victory Park. The project, which was funded entirely with private money, came in on time and on budget, which is very unique. The museum opened on December 1st, 2012, to great acclaim, and during its first year, it was visited by 1.4 million people. 7 months after the museum opened, Nicole announced her plans to accept the position at the Lyda Hill Foundation, with the goal of taking on big challenges that have the potential to impact the world. During a 2006 interview with D Magazine, Nicole was asked, "What's the best advice anyone ever gave you?" She said, "My dad used to tell us growing up, don't be a sheep," which means be your own person, make your own decisions for the right reasons, live your own life. I think she took his advice and ran with it. Please welcome Nicole Small.
Thank you. I am honored to be here today. First of all, congratulations. I am so glad I'm not applying to college at the same time as you all, because I'm pretty sure I would not get in. So I am amazed and so admire all of your amazing work and look forward to the opportunity to visit with you all a little bit more. I know it's meant hours of work and dedication to your studies and to be able to exhibit your amazing talents, and no doubt today is something to be proud of. So you've worked so hard for this amazing opportunity, and with this honor comes not only opportunity and excitement, but responsibility. There are a couple of great quotes that I just love. One is from a co-host of the Jason Project, and you guys are probably too young to remember the Jason Project, but it was a really amazing science project that happened many years ago. And the quote was, "I would hope that everyone would at least try to challenge themselves to go outside of their comfort zones. I know a lot of young women grow up in different households with different social factors and different things going on in their lives. And what I've always found to be true is to risk yourself, risk doing something new and challenging yourself. Take that big dream that you have and really actively pursue it, and find people in the community that can help you." And there's one other quote that I also really love, and it's not from my dad. It's from Wayne Gretzky, who also, you probably don't know who that is. He was an amazing hockey player, and he had a great quote, and it goes like this: "You miss 100% of the shots that you do not take." So despite the fact that recently my 8-year-old proclaimed me old and boring, after all, I did just get rid of my BlackBerry. It wasn't too long ago that I was actually a high school student just like you all, and I vividly remember sitting on my bed, looking out the window, talking to my mom. I was weighing what at the time was an incredibly important decision about which sport or student council or club I should pursue, and I asked her, "What would you have done when you were in high school?" And she looked at me and she thought for a minute and she said, "What do you mean? I didn't have those choices." And surely I gave her that blank stare, the one that my daughter recently gave me, the same one, when I tried to explain that yes, phones only once worked when they were actually attached to a wall. And it wasn't until that moment that it sunk in that perhaps, just perhaps, I had some greater responsibility that I hadn't previously been aware of until that conversation. Because having an education, and one that you all have had with such amazing teachers, is a responsibility. It provides you a foundation to really determine who you are in this world, who you want to be, what you might want to do, and as Gandhi says, to be the change you want to see in this world. We're always tempted to identify ourselves with a particular arena. I'm an athlete, a writer, an artist, or I'm not an artist, a musician, or a scientist. But when I think about the world that we're in today and the future that we're facing, it's really about the whole person. It's about the intersection of innovation and creativity. Based upon today's amazing accomplishments, we've clearly established that you four are perfect examples of our future leaders. You each have an incredible mix of skill sets. You're clearly bright, you're creative, and you're ambitious. And as you all are learning, to have such talents is not only a gift, but a responsibility. So I would ask you all today, what will you do in this world? That same 8-year-old, who clearly provides me lots of stories, also recently came home and said to me that she just come home from school and she was studying something really fun with one of her favorite teachers. She was learning about cinnamons. And I said, cinnamons? We're learning about spices at school? A little bit confused. And I said, what do you mean you're learning about cinnamon? And she said, you know, when words mean the same thing. And I said, oh, synonyms. Okay. And she said, yes, that's what I said, cinnamons. So the assignment had been actually an art project. Again, a good example of where art and language come together. And the assignment had been to pick a word and to use a thesaurus to pick synonyms to place around the word in an art project. And I found it fascinating that the word she picked was the word fearless. The synonyms for fearless include courageous, bold, heroic, and brave. Now, I'm still not sure whether the subject matter was chosen because of random selection, because of the bold heart of an 8-year-old, or maybe from a recent Taylor Swift album. But regardless, I loved the choice. And I loved the choice because with all the talents that you all possess, combined with the willingness to be just a little bit fearless, you can really achieve some incredible things. It's about taking all that you know and being fearless enough to go out in the world to explore all that you are actually yet to know. The responsibility to go out into the world and do something with that knowledge. Opportunity is only a word if you don't do something with it. For me, my passion has been about inspiring the next generation of Nobel laureates. So many of the challenges that our world faces today are going to be solved by science and engineering, that it is critical that every child in our community have access to the kind of education that you've had and to the amazing teachers that you've had. No doubt, many of you, your families, have been touched by disease. You've got stories of cancer or Alzheimer's. No doubt you've watched TV these past summers and been nervous or scared of West Nile virus. And lastly, there's no doubt that some of you in this room have real fears about climate change or where your water is going to come from. All of these challenges must be met by our generation and the next, and the need of scientific know-how is what we need to solve them. The good news is, based on your rumored AP scores in science, I feel pretty good about the group that's sitting here in front of us today to help us solve some of these problems. So over a decade ago, I had an opportunity, as Wayne would say, to take my shot. My shot was the chance to be part of an exciting project to help inspire our community to get excited about science and the Perot Museum that we hope will change the landscape of North Texas forever. Getting this building built wasn't easy, but the opportunity was there, and our board and our community and our team were committed to finding a way to get it built. In so many ways, it is really the perfect example of where creativity, innovation, science, art, architecture, education, and so many other things intersect. It's a living example of where art and science come together. So by combining the skills that you all have with a little bit of passion and perseverance, which by the way is another great lesson, don't ever give up, and a little bit of fearlessness, we were able to open the Perot Museum and have inspired, as Serena said, over 1.4 million minds since we opened. So as I look out today, I see a set of individuals who are fueling the engines of change. With each of your creativity, competence, and commitment, I feel confident that each of you will be able to achieve something that will not only change this community, but change this world. So whatever it is that is each of your passions or your cause, whether it's running a museum, raising a family, building educational games to inspire our kids, or teaching, I encourage you to take it on. As Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So go ahead and take a shot. Congratulations.